frog circulatory system. The blood vascular system of frog is closed one. It includes the heart, the blood vessels, blood and lymphatic system. Blood flows always through these vessels, so it is known as closed type of blood vascular system. The prime function of this system is to distribute the digested food and oxygen to different parts of the body in order to release energy to carry out life activities and also to bring the excretory and gaseous waste to organs of elimination, that is kidneys and lungs. That's a basic function of blood vascular system. The blood vascular system, it supplies nutrients or the digested food to different parts of the body plus oxygen, and it carries back the gaseous waste, which is carbon dioxide, and the excretory waste, which is eliminated through kidney and lungs. Frog's heart. The frog's heart is muscular central pumping station and it drives blood through the closed circulatory system. External features is heart. It lies mid-ventrally inside the anterior trunk region of frog. Body is divided into head and trunk, and it lies at the anterior trunk region mid-ventrally, and it is protected by the pectoral girdle. The pectoral girdle acts as a protective cover. Heart is reddish in color. It is somewhat conical or triangular in shape. It has the broad base which is directed anteriorly, and the narrow apex of this triangular shaped structure is seen posterior. The heart is enclosed within the pericardium, or the layer that encloses the heart is known as pericardium. Cardium means heart, and the layer that covers the heart is called pericardium. It is thin, transparent, and it is two-layered sac, and the outer wall of pericardium is termed as parietal pericardium, while the inner wall of pericardium is termed as visceral pericardium. Visceral pericardium closely invests the heart, and the pericardium, it acts as a shock absorber. So this is the structure of frog's heart. Frog's heart, it is three-chambered one, where you have two, the upper portion which is bit broader. There you have the two auricles. Heart is three-chambered with two auricles or atrium, which is the other name for auricle. Two auricles are there, and it includes a ventricle posteriorly. The tapering portion is what is known as ventricle. So two auricles are there, plus you have the ventricle. And blood flows from the right auricle and left auricle into the ventricle and leaves through this truncus arteriosus. So coming to structure, heart is enclosed within the pericardium. It is divided into three chambers. The upper two chambers are atrium, which is the right side is known as right atrium and the left side is known as left atrium. These two atrium, they are divided by interatrial septum. The interatrial septum divides the atrium into two chambers. The right chamber is larger one. You can see from here, the right chamber is larger one and the left chamber is smaller one. Both these chamber open into ventricle, and there is the region between the atrium, the two atrium and the ventricle is known as auriculoventricular aperture. The region between the auricle and the ventricle is known as auriculoventricular aperture, and the blood within the right auricle and the left auricle enters into the ventricle through this auriculoventricular aperture. and this auriculoventricular aperture are guarded by auriculoventricular valves. There are valves which is known as auriculoventricular valves. You can see valves here which is known as auriculoventricular valve, and this valve guards the entry of blood from right auricle and left auricle into ventricle. The ventricle is somewhat small. It is covered by thick muscles. Fibrous muscles cover the ventricle, which is muscular and spongy, and this is because blood moves from ventricle with high pressure. So in order to create that pressure, there is this thick muscular and spongy wall, and inside the ventricle you have the inner surface which is irregular ridge which is known as trabeculae. This region is known as trabeculae with depressions which is known as fissures. The projections are known as trabeculae and the depressions are known as fissures, and these greatly reduce the cavity of the ventricle. Though ventricle looks bigger, these thick muscles reduce the size of the ventricle. And the flaps of auriculoventricular valves are there, and the flaps of the auriculoventricular valves are connected to the wall of the ventricle by thread like chordae tendineae. Chordae tendineae connects this valve towards the auriculoventricular valves towards the wall of ventricle, and chordae tendineae that brings about the opening and closing of these auriculoventricular valves. The ventricle auricle opens into ventricle by means of auriculoventricular valve, and the ventricle opens out. The ventricle opens out by means of three semilunar valves which prevent backflow of blood from the truncus into ventricle. They open out into truncus arteriosus. This structure is known as truncus arteriosus, which is guarded by semilunar. You can see from the picture there are some semilunar valves, and this prevent the backflow of blood from truncus arteriosus to ventricle. And the truncus arteriosus is actually divided unequally by a set of three semilunar valves which divide this truncus arteriosus into conus arteriosus. It divides it into conus arteriosus. The larger portion is known as conus arteriosus, and you have a small bulbus arteriosus, a conus arteriosus and bulbus arteriosus. The three valves divides it into conus arteriosus and bulbus arteriosus. A large twisted longitudinal spiral valve further divides the cavity of conus into a left and right region incompletely. You can see from truncus arteriosus two branches arise. Actually these divide these this area is divided by longitudinal spiral valve which divides as conus arteriosus. This conus arteriosus into left and right regions incompletely, though mixing of blood takes place. And this spiral valve, it is attached dorsally but it is free ventrally, and from truncus arteriosus it divides into two, and the right aortic arch and the left aortic arch. So that's a structure of heart. And coming to working of heart beat, it's mainly under nervous control. Contraction of heart is called systole, where the whole blood is contracted out from ventricle to truncus arteriosus, whereas its dilation its relaxation is termed diastole. So contraction is termed systole and relaxation is termed diastole. And there's a sequence of events. There's a sequence of events that takes place whereby the valves also play a major role preventing the backflow of blood. The first portion is sinus venosus. Sinus venosus actually opens into the right auricle by means of sino-auricular aperture. The sinus venosus collects the whole blood. Sinus venosus collects the whole blood from the body, and this deoxygenated blood enters into the right auricle by means of sino-auricular aperture. Whereas on the left atrium, you have a common opening of pulmonary vein. Blood enters into the right auricle. Blood enters into the right auricle through this sino-auricular aperture. The sinus venosus empties blood through the sino-auricular aperture into the right auricle, whereas the left auricle receives blood from the pulmonary vein. Whatever blood vessel that comes into heart, that is known as vein, and whatever that leaves the heart, that is known as artery. Here deoxygenated blood is carried by the sino-auricle through the enters in through the sino-auricular aperture into the right auricle. So the blood that reaches the right auricle, that is deoxygenated blood, whereas the pulmonary vein carries oxygenated blood. Both these blood, the deoxygenated blood and the oxygenated blood, enters into the ventricle through auriculoventricular valve. There is no mixing between the auricle because of the interauricular septum, but both deoxygenated and oxygenated blood enters into ventricle, and the muscles or the trabeculae and the fissures prevent mixing of this deoxygenated and oxygenated blood. And once it enters the ventricle, this is the ventricular contraction forces this blood into truncus arteriosus, and from truncus arteriosus it leaves through the aortic arch. So that is how the heart pumps blood to different parts of our body. Chambers of heart. There are three chambers in a heart of frog. Heart is made up of two atria or auricles. It is dark colored and lies anterior. One ventricle, it is pink colored, conical, and lies posteriorly. A very faint longitudinal interauricular groove demarcates the two auricles externally. A narrow transverse auriculoventricular groove or coronary sulcus clearly marks off the two auricles from ventricle. Two additional chambers are present in the heart of frog, which is sinus venosus, which carries the whole blood, deoxygenated blood, to right auricle, and the truncus arteriosus, to which the ventricle pumps blood. The sinus venosus, it is dark colored, thin walled and triangular chamber. It is attached dorsally to heart. Truncus arteriosus, it is tubular chamber that arises anteriorly from the right ventral side of ventricle. It immediately bifurcates anteriorly to two branches, which again breaks into three arches: the carotid, systemic and pulmocutaneous arch. When the frog is sectioned, its internal structure is visible. It is hollow and muscular, and in order to keep the unidirectional flow of blood, the various chambers are separated by valves. Auricles, there are two auricles, left and right. They are thin walled and are completely separated from each other by a thin vertical interauricular septum. The left auricle is smaller than the right one, and sinus venosus opens into dorsal wall of the right auricle through the sino-auricular aperture. The sino-auricular aperture is a large transverse oval aperture. Sinus venosus lies close to the interauricular septum. It is guarded by a flap like valves. The common pulmonary vein opens into left auricle near septum by a small opening without valves. Both auricles open into ventricles by a common large auriculoventricular aperture. This aperture is guarded by two pairs of flap which is called auriculoventricular valves. And ventricle, the ventricle has thick muscular and spongy wall. Its inner surface consists of columnae, carnae or trabeculae, which are irregular strands or ridges, and the depressions between the ridges what is known as fissures. And these highly reduce the cavity of ventricle. Chordae tendineae, they are thread-like structure that connects the flaps of auriculoventricular valves to the wall of ventricle. Then truncus arteriosus is there, and the three semilunar valves guard the opening of ventricle into truncus arteriosus. These valves prevent the backflow of blood from truncus into ventricle. The spirally twisted cavity of truncus arteriosus is divided unequally by a set of three semilunar valves into conus arteriosus and bulbus aorta or arteriosus. The cavity of conus is divided incompletely into a left dorsal cavum, pulmocutaneum, and a right ventral cavum aorticum by a large twisted longitudinal spiral valve. The spiral valve is attached dorsally while its ventral edge is free. The common opening of two pulmocutaneous arches is situated in cavum pulmocutaneum. Separate openings of carotid and systemic arches lie in synangium. And all these openings are guarded by valves. The distal right and left branches or trunks appear externally to be single vessel. Internally, each is made of three channels which ultimately form three distinct arches on either side. You can see from this aorta, three arches arise. So that's the structure of heart. And working of the heart is muscular organ that continuously beats throughout the lifetime. Heart works under the control of nervous system to pump blood into the circulatory system. The contraction of the heart is termed as systole, whereas the relaxation of the heart is termed as diastole. The different chambers of heart contract in a regular sequence and the valves present. On the contraction of sinus venosus, the non-oxygenated venous blood is forced into the right auricle through sino-auricular aperture. The oxygenated blood from lungs is poured into left auricle through common pulmonary vein, and the two auricles contract simultaneously, forcing their blood into ventricle through the single auriculoventricular aperture.